Welcome back, toy fans, to another Toymension Life video. And yes, I am still in rehab in the hospital, sitting in a wheelchair. So I am slowly, hopefully, going to get better, where I can start walking around and taking people off again and doing my little toy hunts and stuff like that, and antique store shopping and stuff like that too. So I'm excited. So anyways, real quick, my brother brought me a few toys, his last visit like that stuff, and I've been meaning to do a video with him too, talking about nostalgia and kind of how it relates and stuff. So that's kind of my target goal of today, is talking about, even though this is a crappy adventure for me right now, but the positive thing right now is nostalgia, and you can always look back to keep your, your thoughts, your positivity in the clouds a little bit, in your fantasy world stuff we got too. So one toy is kind of directed towards the fantasy world, and one goes more into realistic stuff, but also it will make sense to you guys, especially when you're paralyzed. So yes, but real quick, I do want to give a shout out to Matthew. I met him on Instagram. He is called SEEBZ Shibs. I may have said that wrong or whatever. Collectibles. So he seemed pretty nice or whatever. So I might harass that guy a little bit here and there to keep me distracted, in the other world. Then my second shout out is actually to a former friend of mine. So he found out about all this stuff too, and it feels like he just took a shot at me or made fun of me, sort of thing. But anyway, so he was like, he's pretty much saying he's jealous that I have a bunch of like 20-year-old girls catering to me, people wiping my ass, and I'm bedridden, and people are just feeding me all this types of food. So yeah, I'm just gonna say it, Mark, you are a real piece of shit. Real piece of shit. So moving on. So real quick, this is a McFarlane toy, Batman. So I'm not really familiar with the story to this one, Noel, but it sounds freaking cool. And well, I guess it takes place around Christmas time, so you got a little snow back there too. I do like that artwork back there. So this is, like I said, it's really sad with the McFarlane line, because Mattel's taking them over soon, which is, it's okay. It's okay. I'll move on. I'll get over it though. But I am excited, that there are so many of these options out there. I think a lot of these toys will be worth a lot of money down the road. Some might be harder to come by and stuff like that too, because obviously you're not going to make them anymore. And he did make reprints of some of the other ones, but he turned them into like, platinums and stuff like that too. So, but yeah, so the reason I brought up the Batman thing is too, because one of my favorite storylines was actually, and this is probably the wrong Batman though, but just Batman in general. We saw it in the movie Batman Rises, right? Or The Dark Knight Rises. That's okay. Well, in the comic books, my favorite storyline actually, which was like a 10 or a 12 comic book run or something like that, whatever. Bane pretty much releases all the villains. Bane is smart. Bane is controlling. He knows what he's doing. But anyways, he pretty much, the goal is, he wore down Batman so bad, right? Where Batman tried to fight Bane, and Bane's a strong dude, with his venom power and stuff like that too. He poisons himself, just gets really strong. Pretty much breaks Batman's back. Batman ends up paralyzed. So I'm kind of relating to that right now, but it's a different story. His back was broken. Mine is not broken, so mine is just paralyzed from like, a blood clot or something like that. But his straight up back was broke. Someone else filled in as Batman for a little while. No problem with that too. That's Ezreal, by the way. It was a very cool comic book run. But the thing with him too is, I believe it was magic that put him back together. In this world, we don't have magic or whatever, but if you're a believer in certain things, there is magic in our hearts and our beliefs and stuff too. And if you think positive, you'll get positive. If you think you're gonna get better, you're gonna get better. So that's how I'm trying to be with my little fantasy world here too. So, and I'm sorry about like I said, this lighting sucks right now. Like I said, in the hospital, this lighting is not that great. But so anyway, so I'll try to. There's the card right there. No problem. Real quick. Real name, Bruce Wayne. New York Times bestseller inspired by Charles Dickens' important classic A Christmas Carol, Batman Noel. So it is Christmas based, okay. Features different interpretation of the Dark Knight along with his enemies and allies. in different eras, along with the way Batman must come to terms with his past, present, and future. Kind of reminds me of the ghost he fought, or the ghost of Christmas past, future, present. The same thing, right? So past, present, and future, as he battles villains from the campy 1980s, no, like 1960s, to the dark, brooding menace of today, while exploring what it means to be a hero that he is. Members of Batman's supporting cast enact roles, analogies to those from A Christmas Carol, the Robin, Catwoman, and Superman, the Joker, and more, playing roles that are familiar to anyone who knows, Dickens' original holiday tale. So, yeah, that's it back there. So, pretty blurry though, but what can you do? So, just so you guys know, I usually keep these like in a old plastic case, trying to bend them up. So, I'm gonna do my best not to bend it up. So pretty cool. So, but I love, anyway, sidetracking. I love the story of Batman, going through a broken back. So he actually had to heal physically and stuff too, which obviously is not that fun too. But I always like the McFarlane stuff too. I ripped it to pieces. I love the artwork, the comic book look back there and stuff like too. Honestly, it's a waste of time looking at it because it's pretty dark in here. So, all right. So here's our guy. I'm gonna pop him out of this box real quick. All right. So I got him out of that noisemaker plastic thing real quick. So I'm happy about this right now already. It has a wire cape. I like my wire capes. They're very posable. I do like the binoculars going on here. Very nice. I thought they were batarangs at first. Legit binoculars. That's a different type of pose right there. So this is gonna be this is gonna stand out in my Batman collection. So open palm hand, not bad. Might switch that out so I can put a batarang or something in there. So he's got like the dark gray going on there too. So we all know how these things move. So I'm not gonna bore ourselves or myself with how to pose these guys or what kinks and stuff like that too. I'm just gonna make sure there's something weird broke on there. But I do like his outfit. Got the boots going on there. He's buff. I like that utility belt going on there. It's simple, tactical and stuff. I do like that bat symbol going on there too. So I'm gonna have to look this dude up or whatever. So, but yeah. So it's cool. Then of course you have the little DC stand right there too. So, but real quick, this open hand though, I am gonna go ahead and which you just put it there, put it on his hand right there. Kind of set it up there, not bad. But we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna switch this out real quick. So yeah, switch that out. That is his right hand, which actually has, looks like a pointer finger on there. It'd be nice if I actually showed you guys his hands, right? So this is a weird doing a video like this. So anyways, it looks like his little trigger finger going on there. I like that. Cool with that. So here's his batarang. Always has that Dark Knight look to it. Not bad. Freaking huge too. So everyone just stick that in there. Yeah. There he is. So looks like he's getting a good sight and he's gonna throw his batarang. I can go with that. But I do like those binoculars. I do like those binoculars. So yeah. For now, I'm just go ahead and I'm gonna take those out. I don't know, I like those binoculars. I'm gonna keep the binoculars. So yeah, it's gonna stand out from other Batman. So everyone else is just holding batarangs and stuff like that too, posing. So yeah, so go ahead and stick him in his little stand here. Yeah, and then we'll get a close-up video here in a minute. But that's pretty freaking cool. I like that. Okay, now we're gonna move on. So real quick look at this. Moving on, Wolverine from Wolverine and Deadpool, which was a very fun movie, by the way. I do wish there was a couple more characters in it, though, but no problem. Of course, now you're wondering why. Like, Wolverine. This guy was picked up at GameStop. Pretty sure it was GameStop, right? So, Wolverine. We all get injuries. We all wish we could just heal like this guy, right? And feel better. Some of us might not with the claws. Honestly, I wouldn't mind the claws though. But so this is a Marvel Legends. So the Batman we just saw, McFarlane, they're actually 7 inches tall, right? Um, they do the 6 inch, no problem. So you can kind of pose them together, but you're gonna have to set them up in different scales, maybe like a diorama, so they look like they blend together a little bit better. Besides that, if you put them next to each other, they're just gonna look completely different, so in sizes. So we're gonna go ahead and get this guy open real quick. So, but I would love to have his healing factor, his powers, just so I can get over this. I know a lot of people that deserve that kind of power because they're good people, right? And some good people don't deserve stuff like this, too. I'm a little different. I think maybe I deserve this, maybe I don't. I mean, I'm not that bad of a person, but I've done shady, weird things. Maybe it's payback or something like that too. But when you have all that, when you have the healing power, you can pretty much do whatever you want, good or bad stuff, and you're just gonna keep healing, right? So, anyways, plus this is the only Wolverine that I have currently, right? So why not get the Hugh Jackman one, the only Wolverine? But now we also have Wolverine, Henry Cavill, as the Cavill Wolverine or whatever. So that's very interesting. So, all right, I'm gonna try to get this guy open real quick. So, but yeah, this honestly, I would hold on to something like this, and I might actually pick up another one. This might be a good collector down the road because you think about Hugh Jackman is probably like one of the longest running characters, that's been in multiple projects and stuff like that too. Like Michael Keaton's Batman has been around forever. When he appeared in The Flash, he's pretty much up there too, reprising his role, but he hasn't been active as Batman. This guy has been active as Wolverine and the only Wolverine. So this is probably a good autograph piece eventually, but this thing is going to be open so I can play with it. So I'm going to go and get this guy out of there real quick. Real quick before I get into the character. This is his background. This is definitely a Deadpool thing. Yeah, you even got a unicorn in there. This I'm holding on to. So I better not leave this at the hospital. But Wolverine, Deadpool, it's like love, right? Get the rainbow thing going on there. Toxic stuff. This is just funny as anything to me. So it looks like a kid drew it. Obviously Deadpool drew it though. Wolverine's supposed to be like more the serious one. Deadpool's more the I mess around type guy. But in the movie he's kind of serious because trying to save his stuff though. But this is funny, and the fact it has a unicorn on it, golden. This is a must hold on to. So I got to do something with this. So, all right, real quick, we got Hugh Jackman's face right there. Not too bad. It looks a lot like him. If the blur would stop being blurry, so that actually looks a lot like him. So, but I'm hoping the blur kind of clears up on the video here a little bit. So, here we got pretty much a fist, no claws. We got cupping hand right there where you can grab something. Not bad. He didn't come with any weapons or anything like that too. So, but here's our guy. He looks pretty freaking good to me too. So, yeah. I don't really collect the Marvel Legends a lot, but I'm getting into them a little bit because there's a bunch of them too. I'm more of the DC type, but this guy looks pretty freaking good. So, but yeah. So, and they put love into this toy because they don't want to disappoint the fans. So I'm assuming this thing will move pretty well on its own. So, which actually surprisingly does. So, yeah, it has little ratcheting arms going on there too. So, yeah, his claws look a little deformed, but it's probably from storage there. See that bends a little weird. I like that though. So, do a little pose like that. Yeah, nothing bad. So, but what's another thing I don't like about these two is they don't come with a posing stand. But luckily you can find a lot of those like little posing stands and stuff really cheap online. So thank goodness on that too. So, but even under here, it's black. It looks padded there. It looks like it's part of the uniform. That's a nice little touch too. So it's not bad. It looks good. The colors look good too. So a lot of people complain about his sleeves. Who cares, guys? This is good. So. But yeah, I like that. But yeah, I would love to have his powers and be healed and just move on with my life and stuff too. But it doesn't work like that, right? So more realistic, so more fantasy into realistic stuff. Iron Man, and people are like, Iron Man. Think about it, guys. A lot of people can't walk. It's technology based. A lot of stuff is actually helping like veterans and people just in general, walk, mobile, AI stuff. I mean, all of our electronic stuff. I mean, we have things that make coffee and stuff. We have voices we can talk to that's not imaginary either. So it's weird how the technology is helping us advance in life too. My only problem is I hope we don't forget about ourselves and Mother Nature and such like that too. But Iron Man's a good example. So he's very advanced for his time, machine. So if you remember in Civil War, actually, Rhodey got hurt, and it showed him training and walkers and stuff like that too. It was painful and stuff like that too. But later on, he continued. He moved on, and technology helped him out. Stuff I'm working on right now, they're hooking up like little bicycle things to me, electrical strobes, and like shocking the heck out of me right now. And it's not fun, guys. But I have no motion at all in there too. But it's supposed to wake up my muscles and stuff. That's technology. Yeah, it might be older stuff. It's not advanced like Iron Man type stuff, but it's still freaking cool though. So, but yeah, but here's the back for it too. So I like this too. So what's cool is I'm not a big Iron Man guy though, but my brother really is too. So I'm building this little Iron Man collection eventually, and gonna make him like his own little Iron Man shelf. So it'd be kind of cool. So, but this is probably one of my favorite suits. It just looks cool too. So, but he's got so many different types of suits that you can go on and on and on and build your little empire. So, but yeah, so technology, man. Who knows what it'll be like in 10, 50 years from now too. So we could have flying suits like this. So the reason I really like this Iron Man too is he's a little darker and to me almost more stealthier. And he has more of a golden look though, but I do like the bright color Iron Man. It reminds the Marvel thing. Bright and shiny pretty much sells the Marvel stuff, right? Especially the toys. So, but I'm more of the tactical, slick kind of guy. Like that's why I like Batman so much, because he blends in. He's Batman, tactical, sneaks up on you and stuff like that too. This kind of reminds me of that darker tone kind of thing too, more serious going on there too. So, but he's not a bad guy. He's not bad. So, I got another Iron Man coming from Big Bad Toy Store, I think. We'll see. So anyway, but yeah, he looks pretty good. So he's got a little fist going on here, and he's got his open hand right there too. And of course, he's gonna have his little peg holes down here for non-pegs. So he's got another blaster hand. He's got another fist going on here. So real quick, I'm just gonna go ahead and stick these guys. So he's got 4 of these. Also, you can use as your, before you know it, we're gonna be flying in something like this too. So, and I'm gonna go ahead, yeah, put it up like that. Put that there. I'm going to adjust his hand a little bit. Yeah, there you go. He's blasting. So hovering, blasting, or he can also use his hands too for flying too or whatever. And like he's like getting ready to, fly. So what's cool about Iron Man is you can hang him with a fishing string or something like that from your ceiling, like he's flying or whatever, or you put him in a little battle diorama and stuff like that. He has a lot of potential with him too. That's what's cool about this suit of armor. So War Machine, I like War Machine because he actually shows off some of his weapons and stuff like that too. So not bad. So but yeah, the technology out there, man, is good for us, keeping us going. Hate to say it, there's stuff that keeps our hearts running, heart monitors and stuff like that too. We have self-driving cars going on now. I'm still looking for the flying cars we were supposed to have in 2000, but I guess all the Back to the Future movies are not that right. So, yeah, nostalgia, man. I know these are newer kind of toys and such or whatever though, but the nostalgia. Back in the day, man, back in the early 90s, I used to watch, the X-Men cartoons and always wish I had Wolverine's powers, stuff like that too. He was on Power Hour or whatever it's called. You had the Invincible Iron Man. Then I think you had the Fantastic Four or the Avengers. Mighty Avengers or something like that. But they were playing on Sundays, like right before church or something like that too though. But the fact is, you can think back to these guys, man, read their comics and stuff like that too. These guys have been around forever, and these are people we wish we were or wanted to be and stuff like that too. So, I mean, I know a lot of people wanted to be like Iron Man, even though he wasn't the top notch. Now he's probably one of the most A-listers now out there because of, Tony Stark, you know, good old RDJ right there, right? So Wolverine's always been a hero of all times for people. Just like, you know, Batman for me, you know, I've always loved Batman. And his nostalgia is always there, man. His movies, cartoons, his new toys, the old toys, and stuff like that too. So it's just, nostalgia's great, man. It keeps your head above the clouds a little bit. It keeps you moving forward, or even, you know, if you're getting a needle, a shot, or they're, you know, drawing blood from you or something like that too. You just think and, like, you know, think of happy thoughts, you know, think about your childhood memories when you were innocent, when you didn't ask for all this stuff too. So, but it keeps you young, keep young at heart. We didn't ask to grow up, guys, but we are staying as young as possible in our brains, in our hearts. So, anyways, guys, thanks for keeping up with me on this adventure. I know I'm putting out a lot of, like, older videos of mine from my old YouTube channel, but I'll explain that later on why I changed all that out. But I pretty much started all over, so I appreciate everybody who's subscribing, watching my content, and also keeping up with my little, you know, handicap adventure currently. So I'll try to do more of a personal updates on my condition. But anyways, guys, thank you for everything, and hope you enjoy this. Till next time, kiddies. Till next time.